Let's talk about the most humiliating fucking thing that has ever happened to me. So, when I was in 10th grade, I got suspended twice in 2 weeks. And I'm talking about, like, I got suspended and then I came back and a week later I was suspended again. The second time was the most humiliating thing to ever happen to quite literally anyone, and I'm gonna tell you all about it. So, I was dating this boy at the time, and I dated this boy for 4 years, and at the time we were dating for maybe a year. So, you know how it is when you are young and in high school, like, hormones were fucking crazy, and I liked this boy a lot, right? So, I was like, cool, he was on the basketball team, by the way, that's a very key part to this story. And I really liked him. We'd been dating for a year. This is the man I lost my virginity to. Like, I was like, I feel safe with this man. Like, nothing's gonna ever happen wrong with this man, right? So, our school's basketball team was able to go to, like, an away game. And this away game was, like, I think like 4 or 5 hours away, right? So the whole basketball team is on a bus going to this basketball game, right? Which included him. And me trying to be all sexy and fun and frisky, I was like, let me send this picture of a man on my fucking ass while he's on this bus full of all his little friends. And so I do just that, like full on asshole spread. Not actually, I was in underwear. But anyways, I send this picture to this man. I really like him. I think I'm just like, whatever, no one's gonna see. It's not a big deal. Who cares, right? Well, while I sent it, there was a boy sitting next to him, right? Because it's a bus, so there's gonna be people around. I just didn't think anyone would be able to see, or like maybe he would open it and like hide it or something. Like, it wasn't for the whole fucking basketball team to see, right? So there I am, and I vividly remember the underwear I was wearing. I was wearing a fucking blue thong and everything, and I was like, this is gonna be so slay. Like, he's gonna think he has the hottest girlfriend ever. You know, it's just gonna be something for him. And that's what I was thinking going into it, right? Like, I had already lost my virginity to this man, so it wasn't that deep. And, like, I lost my virginity relatively early. I was maybe, like, 16. So, like, at this point, a lot of the sophomores and stuff like that weren't being intimate with their partners, right? But we were. So I was like, this isn't gonna be weird for us. Like, you know, it's not that deep. Like, we would have sleepovers and everything like that. So I was like, no one's gonna get angry. It's not a big deal. Well, the boy who was right next to him, we will call him Brad. Brad saw the photo that I sent, right? And when you are on a basketball team, at any type of game, there is always like a film crew, right? Which is usually someone from the team. And this time it just so happened to be my ex-boyfriend and Brad. And so, Utah, super Mormon. So Brad is like fucking jaw dropped. He's like, there is no way that this girl is sending you pictures of her ass, right? And my boyfriend was kind of just like, oh, like, I don't think he showed him. I don't know. He said he didn't, but I don't know. So at this point, I wasn't told that Brad had seen it, but my ex-boyfriend knew that Brad had saw it. So they go to this away game, and it is time for my ex-boyfriend and Brad to film the game, right? Usually there isn't audio on these things, but this time there happened to be. So this man is asking absolutely like disrespectful questions about me, the things I've done to my ex-boyfriend and things like that. And my ex-boyfriend says he didn't say anything, but this was all caught on fucking film, right? They were filming the basketball game. So now the whole fucking basketball game is filmed, right? And they're like watching all of these people play basketball. And all of the audio that you hear in the background is talking about me, my name, my boyfriend, or my ex-boyfriend at the time, and Brad asking a bunch of personal questions, right? Now, I didn't know that Brad was asking all of these personal questions, but we get back to school. So let's say they went on a weekend to this basketball game. It's a Monday, right? And I get a text message from my ex-boyfriend, and he's like, hey, we need to talk. And I'm like, all right, what's going on? And he's like, so this is what happened. I didn't find out about this until it was far too fucking late. The whole basketball team listened to that film, listened to basically everything that had happened, all the things I had sent my ex-boyfriend. And on top of it, that is when my boyfriend found out that all of the audio was recorded. So I'm talking like sophomore, junior, and senior all fucking heard of it. The whole basketball team fucking heard all of the things that me and my boyfriend at the time were doing. And I was like a fucking laughing stock. Like, everyone's like, oh, cool, good job to this boy. And then me fucking look like a whore, right? And I am livid because, one, how could you, speak about the things that is going on between us? Two, why the fuck would you speak to it while you're fucking filming? I get called down to the principal's office, right? And I'm still gonna lie. Like, I'm like, my boyfriend has never sent me a picture. I have never sent my boyfriend a picture, right? This boy outed me. And I was like, I've never sent a booty pic in my life. And the fucking principal was like, yeah, he told us you did. And they're like, we've heard the audio, like, we know you did. So the whole basketball team, the whole sophomore, junior, senior year of basketball, all heard all of the freaky things that me and my boyfriend had done, and they all knew that I was sending nudes. Me dejó regalada, like, completely, like, oh, here, out in the open. He aired my shit out. And on top of it, this motherfucker stayed friends with him. And I was like, how are you gonna be friends with this dude? Like, one, he's asking all of these personal ass questions. Two, like, they're making fun of me. How are you gonna be, like, friends with him? And he just stayed friends with him the whole fucking time. And I found out that this motherfucker, when we were dating, I hit a girl, right? I got suspended like a week prior to that because I hit a girl. He was still friends with her after I hit this bitch. And I was like, bro, we're supposed to hate the same people. So that was one of the most embarrassing experiences of my fucking life. And I should have taken that as a red flag.
How I found out I was the other girl. I've been talking to this guy for the past 4 months, and only did I find out 2 days ago that he had a whole girlfriend the entire time we were talking. I found out because she literally walked in on me as I was sleeping in his bed, and the crazy part is he literally had just left maybe 40 minutes prior to her getting there and telling me he wanted to commit to me. To give you some context, about 2 weeks ago, him and I talked about committing to each other. Instead of fighting with resistance, he actually told me, Sarah, I like you and I'm on the same page. Ever since then, I would say that we had a closer relationship. He bought me flowers, he came to the gym with me. We were basically a couple. There was a bit of tension on the Monday before this Sunday, but we smoothed things over, and he basically told me that he's a loyal person and that he would never hurt me, he'd never play me, and that he used to be a player in his past, but that's no longer him because he's looking to build a life now that he's approaching 30. The night before all of this happened, he actually asked me how he can make me feel more secure in a relationship. He wanted to make me feel more secure because he's looking to commit. I told him the things I needed in a relationship, and he said that he would be able to give me those things. And the next morning, he left for work around 7 a.m. And before he left for work, he sat at the bed and he told me word for word, I want to commit to you. I was half asleep and I actually needed to be up at 7:30 because I was getting ready to leave for work, but I kept snoozing the alarm. At this point of the story, he's gone for work, but my back is faced towards the bedroom door. And as I'm snoozing my alarm, I hear the door creak open. I turn to look at the door and I see a girl standing in her scrubs. She's obviously crying. I'm obviously like, what the fuck? Who is this? Come to find out, that's his girlfriend of the last 6-7 months. I should mention the night before when we were having that commitment talk, he was telling me how typically relationships naturally progress in the direction of a relationship, and he's never had to define an actual relationship before, which I said, that's a red flag. But here he is having a full-blown girlfriend. What the fuck? She's crying. I'm consoling the girl. I'm trying to make her feel better. She's calling him. He's not answering. To be honest, I had suspicions that something was wrong with our relationship because he wasn't fully present. And I kept asking myself, is there something wrong? Is there something wrong? But I just couldn't pinpoint it because every time I brought up a problem, the energy he would give me, I would never have to question it. I never thought that he was lying to me because I thought he was a transparent human being. And the way that he shaped his morals or expressed his morals made me believe that he just wasn't a pathological liar. The whole time we were together, he told me he wanted to be with me, that he doesn't want to lose me, that he respects me so much, that he admires me, all of these things. Looking back now, these were all lies. The gaps in our messages, not understanding where he would go sometimes. It makes so much sense. You were with your fucking girlfriend. Genuinely didn't think that I was the side piece. I thought I was the main girl and he was cheating on me with someone else. But clearly, I don't know this man at all. Anyway, I haven't spoken to him since because he left me on red, so I'm assuming I'm being ghosted. But I don't even give a fuck anymore because there's nothing to talk about. It is so scary that men can look you in the eye, lie to you, and feel absolutely no remorse. How are you to tell me literally on Monday that you're not a player and that you don't ever want to hurt me and that you would never cheat on me, only to be doing that in this very moment? The most fucked up thing about this all is that he got baptized in May. We started talking in March. They started talking in January. So he got baptized. Before being baptized, he was already talking to 2 girls. After getting baptized, he was still talking to 2 girls. Like, What? This guy, he would talk about past relationships sometimes to bring up examples or reasons. And recently he brought up this new ex that works in healthcare. And I'm like, who? There's no ex that works in healthcare. I've never heard about her. Comes to find out, it's actually his current fucking girlfriend that he's referring to as his ex-girlfriend. Is that not fucked up? It's safe to say that I'll never be talking to this man ever again. Thank you so much. That was the performance of a fucking lifetime, and I will never be fucking with you ever again. It is so crazy how everything played out the way it was supposed to be. For example, on Thursday, I literally asked God to take this man out of my life if he wasn't serving me the right purpose in my life, and by Sunday, that guy was gone. Gone. Anyway, I thought the trauma can be entertainment, so I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I will probably not be making any more videos due to the fact that I don't want to air people's shit out on the internet, but I just thought that this was such a telenovela that I had to share, because what the fuck? Men are crazy, so I can't.
Storytime how I got suspended. I'm going to start by saying I don't think I'm cool for this, and I'm not bragging in any way, because... Right, so this was in, I think it was like December. Me and my friend, we were, it was maths, but we was in the computer room for whatever reason. And we thought it would be funny to film a vlog. At this time, my friend, Josh, I can barely remember it. I don't think I even got to see it, because... like, he just saved it to drafts and then that was the end of the day. And obviously, I don't walk back with him, so I didn't get to see it. But in this video, he kind of, like, when he was recording, he showed the teacher. Because he was recording the teacher and he was saying something. I don't know what he said. He was like, oh, guys, this is our maths teacher or something like that. And then again, I'm not blaming him, but he posted the video. I didn't know he posted the video. So next thing I know, this is like a month after we posted the video. I'm chilling in geography, and I'm getting pulled out by the head of my year. Obviously, she says bring your bags, so I think I'm going home. I'm like, okay, wait, that's chill. So we're walking down, and she takes me to our head teacher's office, and I'm like, wait, I'm not going home. And I see my friend Josh waiting outside there too, and I was like, what could this actually be about? And then the head teacher opened the door and was like, come in. So then she was like, I've made my choice to suspend you. And she said if anything like this happens again, I would be removed permanently. My mom always told me, like, if I got suspended, that would go on my record and I wouldn't, like, go to college or anything like that. Obviously, she was exaggerating. But at that point, I was like, I'm going to be homeless in the future. Like, I was overthinking so bad. After that period, it was lunch, so obviously we're both going, because when you're on ISO, you sit in the canteen, and yeah. So, we went there, we got to the canteen, obviously we thought nobody knew, because obviously, like, how would they know? And we was walking there, and, like, loads of year 7s just swarmed up and was like, you guys got suspended, and, like, I don't know how they knew, because we hadn't told anyone, like, we were in the isolation room the whole time, so we were so confused. Honestly, when we got called into the room and she was saying about the video, I knew I was going to get in trouble, but I thought it would just be like an after school. I was not expecting suspension. But I don't know if that's too much but yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.
I went to a rich private Christian school in Dallas. Let's talk teacher scandals. When I was in high school, there was one particular teacher who was everybody's least favorite teacher. We will call her Mrs. D. Mrs. D was like that villain teacher from Matilda that you write about in stories and that you actually really exaggerate, but she was a real life person and she was unbearable, unfriendly, and I don't think I ever saw that woman smile once. She was just one of those teachers that you were like, why did you get into education? Like, it's very clear that you hate students. Because she was so mean, the students would just revolt against her. And all of my guy friends in the popular group especially, they would make her life a living hell on purpose. They knew that they were rich kids, their parents had paid for the new gymnasium, and they had a wing that was named after them. And what was she gonna do about it? She was just a middle-class 9-to-5 teacher. The way that she would handle conflict in class was so aggressive because her speaking voice when she would be teaching was very like, okay class, so today we're going to learn about this. If you don't wanna learn about this, too bad, because that's what we're learning about this. And you were like, wow, you're not really trying to make education fun at all, lady. When she would reprimand someone, she would just suddenly burst out. Like she would be writing and then someone would be laughing and she'd go, Mr. Davis! And like scare the class. Or she would like aggressively throw down the dry erase markers. I remember that she specifically would stack all the dry erase markers. You know, you could clip them together so they were like a long stick. And she would use it to point to things on the whiteboard. And someone would do something and she would slam the stick on the ground and all the markers would just split everywhere. And then she would make someone pick them up. The thing is because she was so unbearable and just grumpy and god-awful, nobody was really scared of her. People just kind of snickered at her and laughed at her and didn't really take her seriously. There were times that I actually would kind of feel bad for her, but then she would turn her wrath on me when I'd literally not be doing anything. So I was kind of like, okay, Leah, I don't know what your problem is. At a school like this, where everyone has a lot of privilege, I myself was also guilty of it, even though I was just a lowly upper middle class person compared to my rich comrades around me. I was the captain of my cheer squad, and so I did have a lot of pull when it came to certain things, which I definitely took advantage of. One of them was always getting certain girls on my cheer squad out of class early because we had to start practice early. And because our cheer squad did really well, we went to nationals. We just had some very talented girls on the squad. And because it's Texas and everybody worships the football, basketball, cheerleading sort of community, they would basically let us do whatever we want. The booster club supported us. So I would go in and I'd be like, hey, I gotta take so-and-so out of class. We gotta go to practice early. And then we just go to Sonic or Whataburger and hang out until we actually had practice. One thing the girls were notorious for, especially the cheerleaders, is we would roll our uniform skirts. So we had these cute little plaid skirts that we had to wear as part of our uniform. And we would always roll them because you weren't supposed to have them higher than 4 fingers above the knee, which is like hella long. So we would always roll them. I was pretty notorious for doing this, and most of the teachers didn't really bat an eye. Most people kind of looked away. But Mrs. D, she was the skirt police. Never mind that the boys were over here just like wearing their hair all floppy even though they weren't supposed to, doing whatever they wanted to do, wearing their shirts untucked. But God forbid a girl show a little bit of skin above her knee. So one day I was walking down the hallway and my skirt was rolled like usual, and I was walking around with a group of my girlfriends and my high school boyfriend at the time. We're chatting, laughing, and walking, and I hear, Miss Limcat. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, it's the devil. I look over, Mrs. D is there, and she's like, I know you know what I'm going to tell you. And I was like, that I look pretty today? Yes, I was a little shit, but everybody was like this. And she goes, that skirt, if I pulled out a ruler right now, what would that ruler tell me? I was like, well, probably nothing, because rulers can't talk, ma'am. Again, sassy queen. She said, unroll that immediately or you're going to the principal's office. I said, yes, ma'am. I unrolled my skirt. She turned around. I turned around. As soon as I was walking away, I unrolled my skirt again, which was the norm and something that I would do. But apparently she did not walk away. She had turned around, then turned back around to check. I see you, Mrs. D. I do not hate on your game. I was walking arm in arm with my boyfriend. I feel someone grab my shoulder and jerk me out of his hand. She whips me around. She goes, I do not know why you repeatedly want to look like a whore. And she pulled my skirt from the bottom down to unroll it. But because the skirt is like tight, it didn't unroll it. It pulled me all the way down. The woman was strong. I basically collapsed. Everyone in the hallway was like, what the fuck? She was like, unroll it now. She whips back around. She storms off. She leaves me crumpled on the ground. My friends help me up, and I'm like, what the hell? And she's like grumbling and yelling as she walks down. Now, this was the 2000s. Obviously, if that was present day, she would have gotten sued. However, her conduct was not without some sort of reprimanding, because what I have in my back pocket is a 4'11", God-fearing, fiery, temper-having Filipino mother. I told my mommy what happened. Obviously, she wasn't happy with me. However, if you have a Filipino mom, or an immigrant mom, or a Hispanic mom, or just a brown mom in general, you already know that they can whoop your little ass, they can chocolate your ass, but if somebody else messes with you, it's over for them. My mom marched her way up to the school, was also really mad because she had to like leave work early. Came up to school, and in the principal's office, we could all hear her from the hallway yelling in her little Filipino Southern accent, if you ever put your hands on my daughter again, speak ill to my daughter again, I will rain down the wrath of God and the Holy Trinity on you. Now, I love that my mom is threatening the army of the Lord on this woman, okay? And after that happened, everyone was talking about it, obviously. Now, here's the scandal spicy bit. Mrs. D, she had a kid. Her kid also went to the school. It was really unfortunate because everyone was like, yo, your mom sucks. Her kid apparently had told her friend something very secretive about Mrs. D. And it all makes sense why she was so grumpy and why she was so loose-lipped about calling little old teenager me a whore. Apparently, Mrs. D had caught her husband, Mr. D, fraternizing and in the throes of a lady of the night, aka a professional woman. Not only that, multiple ladies of the night. He was having like orgies and paying for it. And here's the clincher. One of those ladies of the night gave Mr. D the clap. And then Mr. D gave the clap to Mrs. D. So Mrs. D was like, how did I get the clap? I've been only having sex with one man for the past 20 years. So obviously she was like doing investigatory work, which led to where he got it, which is how she got it. Poor lady, after that whole debacle with me and just her treating students very terribly in general, she had other incidents with other students. People were talking pretty badly behind her back, talking about how, oh, it makes sense that she's in a bad mood. I'd be in a bad mood too if I had to deal with the clap down there every day. Moral of the story is, people, the devil works hard, but religious moms work harder. My mom to this day talks about that woman. She's like, that horrible woman, how dare she say that to you? But also, you shouldn't have been rolling your skirt. I'm like, yes, mommy. Let me know if you guys want more teacher scandal stories from the school, because there are definitely more. I'm actually thinking about one that's particularly juicy. So if you guys want to hear that, let me know.